Hey folks, how are you doing today? I'm your friend Deepak Kaushik, and today I want to talk about such an interesting topic that you want to know about, uh, and that might cross your path here and there. So, first and foremost, as you are in this video, it means you are into the cloud. Secondly, have you looked over your cloud costing, the cost optimization? Is something concern you? I'm pretty much sure it's concern you at any point of time, because this is one of the biggest problem nowadays we are getting. So I want to talk about Azure cost optimization, well architect framework, and that's we will go today. So let me share my screen. So thank you so much for joining today on how to optimize cloud cost. This is real time scenario, and you came to know this is one of the biggest problem which enterprise are experiencing, because nowadays we are dealing with so many contractors, so many team admin. If someone did not pay attention, they might be paying 10x or 50x or even 100x of cost of the Azure resource, and we are going to figure out that today. Thank you so much. As you know, I'm Microsoft MVP based in Canada, and I have been sharing to technical fraternity till 2008. So one of the well Azure Architect framework is the cost optimization, and today we will talk about that. There is a scenario. This is real-time scenario of a client who is based in North America and Australia with some footprints on Europe, but heavily based on America and Australia region. So basically, they have more than 10,000 of services in 1,000 service at product and UX, and they have 300 services in dev. Their 2022 Azure costing was around $1 million in Australian dollars, and 40 they were feeling that pain because that is way ahead, like 50% of more or more where they need to figure out. Just giving you one hint over there, you could use one of the premium category services which cost them 50.97. We able to reduce that to $10 or less. So that is our goal, and we able to save first day $50,000. That is 5% of total Azure costing. So if that make you excited, you are at right place. Okay, well, let me quickly jump into those things. Azure Well-Architected Framework enable cloud adoption. We look over the ecosystem to achieve business objective, and we look over from different perspective what we need to do. So what are the five pillar of Azure Well Architect Framework? And I keep talking about it. Why? Because to build a successful architect in real time, I'm not talking about making architect on PPT, but to be a successful architect, you always need to adhere with all these five parameters: cost optimization, operational excellence, performance, efficiency, reliability, and security. But today, I will only focus on cost optimization. You might have seen your Azure Advisor, which you could see on my screen. There are cost optimization. We could see 2000 saving in USD and one impact recommendation, and all those kind of things we get from Azure Advisor. So basically, the principle of cost optimization is return of investment, whatever we are investing. We don't need to boil the ocean, folks. If some functionality, some business problem we can resolve with the minimum resources, that should be our basic requirement. For example, in 2017, when I was working in Azure SQL data warehouse, I started with 100 data warehousing unit DWU. So basically, I did not spin up 500 DWU. Start with the minimum, pay for the consumption, right resources, right size at right data center. So some of the tips: pay you go, reserve instance, 1 year enterprise agreement, 3 year enterprise agreement, that will help you out. Right sizing, correct architect design, setting down the services at dev or UAT and production when you don't require that. You could pause. The beautiful part of the cloud is you could pause your compute power still using the storage. So if you don't use Azure SQL data warehouse or Azure Synapse, just pause those for that particular time. I did that in 2017-18 when I was working for a educational client, and I able to do that. Memorize the cost of each service, how much it cost, where we need to do look over. So you could find recommendation from your workload, all those things on Azure Well-Architected Framework. Here we have 33 critical recommendations. Please follow those. Follow those. Recommendation. Pay attention to those recommendations. At the end of the day, you don't want your client pay for some services which cost $100 and the client is paying 10,000. Are you do that if you would be at client space? No, you will never do that. So same thing we have to look over from that perspective. Always pay attention Azure Well Architect review, how you do the cost optimization, how you do the workload, and go from there. So cost optimization solution, always look over Azure Advisor. I know tech lead never look over that. Maybe architect now and then, basically admin. But while my recommendation is always look over Azure Advisor, look over your score. That is so important. I never spin up a resource where score decrease more than 70%. Azure migration tool, look over that. Azure cost management tool, all those things are so important and critical for the success of your customer. You don't want you implement a business solution, everything went well, after that your customer get bankrupt, or they are getting, oh well, 50,000 bugs or those kind of things. So never do that. Figure out where what resource you require, where your resource group should be, what should be their access to your whole hot or cold, or what you require. Local redundancy, geographical redundancy, all those kind of things you need to pay attention. Sorry for my throat. So basically, another look over your service inventories and figure out, okay, where they are located, what is their SKU, what is SKU name. I'm fan of Custo query language basically, and I love to do that. So basically, pay attention to those. Azure service app plan, you look for where your service is located, what is their cost. Like you could see cost in Australian dollar as well as Canadian dollar. You have to figure out same services which is at one data center maybe cost you $400 and another data center $200. If you are not adhering to the government policies, and if you're not required, okay, you could not leave the data geography of a country, please leverage those things. That is so important. Like 400 versus 200, straightforward, you are saving 50%. uh, Another thing which I figure out, one of my customer, they were in dev, they were in premium capacity, and I said, seriously, why you are at premium tier? And that make me really think about, from that perspective, why all the resources are into uh, premium capacity in developer environment or development stage. It can be uh, a bare minimum or dev test, and you always can instance the limit like 1 to 10 or something like that, minimum to maximum. That will be great helpful. So saving plan scenarios, we look for 1300 services altogether. Premium subscriptions for dev, that make me totally look for from perspective, hey, this is not required. Total cost was 100 1 million. We able to reduce the cost by 40%, which is equal to 600,000. And there are a couple of service. For example, we found one services that is on premium tier with 2% utilization, and we save 150 times saving. For example, this service was running at client machine. You could see the log as well. Maximum utilization of this service is 2%, sometimes zero or even less than zero. So can you believe, with 2% utilization we need a service which is at premium category? No, that is not a good thing. So basically here you could find out the basic cost $20, whereas enterprise cost at $10,000 or 10,500 each. So those kind of thing, it's multiply too much. So basically start from basic, if not basic, at least start from standard and look from that perspective. So from presentation perspective, you could look over these URLs and reference that will be very helpful. I'm pasting that in chat window as well. And always please pay attention to your cloud environment. Look over your Azure advisor. What does your advisor score is, what is you have. Like for cost perspective, I'm 100% compliance. So always pay attention to this, and always look over your uh, cost management and billing things as well. What you are paying, how much you are paying, all those things will help your customer. And if your customer is happy, your migration, your end product is happy. So again, please ensure you are not paying or spinning up the extra resources on premium tier. From policies you could control, we will talk about another time. Always review the services. Never spin up the services in high capacity, high tier until unless you will not find their utilization. Dev environment, always use dev test subscription, which saves straightforward 60% of these. Thank you again for joining your friend Deepak Kaushik. And here I'm in Enterprise Architectural Services, just bringing you the real time scenario with real time solution. Thank you so much. See you next time. Take care.